All right. Good morning to all the people waiting. Let me get this shared. All right. Perfect. Let me get view up. Throw this over here. Let me do. Yeah, we can do that. That works. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Looks like SPY. So we have supply here. Don't think I'll be looking at shorts. We'll mark it out. PLTR. Pam, good morning, man. How are you? How are you doing? What do we have here? Up supply up here. Keep an eye on that today. I don't think I'll do anything though. Morning, Dustin. I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Do I get love? No. On here, we're only live on Wednesdays. Only on Wednesdays on here. But if you join Freedom Team, we're live every day. Not me specifically, but we are live every day within Freedom Team. So let's see. Nothing on Apple I like a lot. Now with the gap up, we will move down a little bit, we will create a demand, which we could look for a bounce off. Something like that could be interesting. We do also have a nice move here towards the end of the day. Nice push up, bounce from demand. Now we're breaking highs. Something like that could be interesting. We need quite a pullback on something like this, though. It would be horrible. With Apple trending up, that could be good. Keep an eye on it. IWM. We'll have supply there. I'm so sorry. No worries, man. No worries at all. We have kind of a similar thing in IWM here. Demand created at the end of the day. If we get a little break above there, not mind something like that. I don't like that as much on Amazon. Yeah, I would like to see that a little lower on this move. Definitely don't like it as much. Morning, Adam. How you doing, man? Looks like Goog broke above supply. Anything else? I don't think so. Looks like nothing else here. At least I like. AMD already got a pretty solid reaction off supply yesterday. I doubt we bounced off anything. Yeah, no. No sort of bounce here. This is the cleanest one. I guess that maybe. Again, I don't know if I really want to look for shorts. I'll draw them out, but not sure how much I love that. Microsoft, I believe, is at all-time highs again. Not sure. Close to it. Close to it. Okay. 462 was all-time. I know 462 is where we're at. 468 was all-time. So we'll have a little bit of supply there. Don't think we would have hit that already. No. So I have something like that. I don't know if we'll even hit that. Probably won't be anything I'd play off of, but it could be a little interesting. I don't even mind drawing this on a higher time frame, seeing where we go from there. No real demand in here yesterday. Again, we'll keep an eye on shorts. Not my favorite thing though. We already hit a lot of this supply over here. Yeah, nothing else on here I love. You know, obviously, if we were to drop down into this area, there's definitely a bit of demand down here, but that would be nowhere near my favorite play. Morning, Ernie. How are you, man? Looks like we could have some TLM on coin here. Not a big fan of that. Watch it. We will watch it. Hood. Looks like we might be bouncing off some sort of supply here. I don't know about this. Kind of a weird one. We have some supply created here. If we wanted to short it, we would need it to actually break supply and come back down, which I wouldn't like. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I don't think I'll trade anything there, but Tesla back at 365. Don't think there will be anything in that area. I have some supply up here. Tesla's been ripping so much though. Draw that out, see what happens. TSM pushed back down. Interesting. Definitely a decent move there, but I just don't think that move is enough for me to really care about it. Sandeep, good morning. Alec, good morning, man. How are you? I'm just not sure that's enough. Not the biggest fan of that. Oracle in an interesting spot. Huh. Also a little bit interesting. MU. You're at a little bit of supply. Looks like we already hit it yesterday, though, and are going to hit it again. Assuming we stay up. Kind of an interesting move, though, here. We have like a supply there. Obviously, have that low made, a bounce, lower low made. We might push up higher than that this morning, which obviously would make this whole drawing a little unimportant, but I'm curious where that goes if it rejects that. Him's down even more yesterday. Fortunate. Good rejection of supply yesterday. Hit demand, though, wouldn't be my favorites. Solid move yesterday, though. Today, I don't think there's going to be anything in this. Maybe if you want to short again off supply, but don't personally want to do that. AVGO looks like we're going to be above. Yeah, we'll probably be above anything over here. Next supply isn't until about 243. Yeah, nothing too interesting here. Though we do have, looks like maybe a demand bounce. Regular high there. Don't quite hit it, but with Wick we would, obviously. Would be similar to the Apple play. Look for that retrace down. We need a pretty sizable retrace. If you're liking longs, it would be good. TDG 1024, good morning. How are you? Uber is do I like this? Not really. I think that could for sure go higher, which I don't love. Shop could be good for longs, maybe. Just don't really have anything we're bouncing off. Yeah, nothing we're really bouncing off. But if we could work our way down at open, has a little bit of potential. Keep an eye on it. Roblox, same kind of thing. I wouldn't want to short this necessarily though. I don't think. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a little weird. Could balance the rest of the day though. Visa did bounce off supply a little bit there. I feel like there has to be some sort of demand in here, but not really seeing it. Maybe the 1 hour here. I need a really good reaction though for me to be interested. Especially considering we didn't quite break that high. See if it moves down there. We will see. Boeing just kind of fell off a cliff. Nothing I'm going to want to do there. Nothing on Mara either. Okay. Should be a bit interesting today. A lot of different ways we could go. Draws and D zones from big start day moves. So there's institutional trading going on. I mean, if the speed's there, I'll draw them whenever they happen. Doesn't bother me, whether it's beginning day, end of day. But yeah, there definitely is more. That's why the volume will be higher in the morning. Let me get my Thinkorswim up. All right. Then we will see where this stuff goes. Don't love that open from coin. Won't lie. So Apple actually, that's interesting. Apple actually opened down here without breaking the high, then pushed up after. Interesting. Maybe Geo in that area could be good. What did I? 30-minute pretty tight. Again, same sort of look. If Apple moves up to supply, it's gonna be tough to get that. IWM coming back down. See how far we drop here. Obviously, if we don't drop a ton, would like it. Stop loss on this would be about that. We'll see if that moves back up. I don't know we can necessarily target here. I could just like to go all the way up. That's a little, feels a bit greedy though, personally. Okay, Apple ripped. Wow, did Apple rip? We'll see what this goes. AVGO will throw. And Apple could still break sort of that area, and I'd be interested. See what IWM does here. It's like AVGO might take off a little bit. This just seems really greedy. I don't love that. I feel like something like that would be totally fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like that would be okay. We'll see. Apple pushed. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's right at that supply too, which this sucks because I think it would actually still be a pretty solid trade. But I'd want to see it break supply here. I don't think I'd trade this without it breaking supply. That would just be weird. It's also a little bit of like a lower time frame bias. So trading like sort of this higher, bigger move feels a little strange on it. Yeah, I don't know. Feels a little weird. AVGO I still think can be good though. Hopefully IWM can continue bouncing. Let's see. It's not a great move. Yeah, Apple would just be so risky off supply. Thank you for the tips. No worries, man. That's what I'm here for. Waiting for MU retrace for TLM. MU retrace for TLM, huh? Yeah, I mean, decent balance towards the end of the day. Yeah. Good balance towards the end of the day. Those sort of setups aren't my favorite by any means. But they're still solid setups. Like, they're not bad setups. Just for me, have never been my favorite thing to trade. Swan Qs look pretty strong. I definitely have more of a bullish bias on Apple. That's the only reason I would be still tempted to get in on longs. But just structurally with supply there, I'm not sure it makes the most sense. But it is working its way down. Where IWM's at. It's like still pushing down. Sad about that. Okay. I mean, it's pretty much done a full rotation, is it not? No. It's only like halfway. That's more than enough to still play it. Might bounce off a little 15-minute there. But no, definitely has not done a full rotation. I usually say that I only really count like as a full rotation if we get like 90-95% of the way there. And that still has a little bit of room. You obviously have to target past the 15-minute supply or 15-minute demand, which isn't my favorite thing. Coin fell off a cliff. Wow. I'm not very interested in that anymore. Roblox is ripping. I don't think there's anything there I would care too much about. At this point, we might be chasing AVGO a little bit. So Apple does hit that 50. Something like this, I still think is a good play. It's just the supply really throws it off. They don't really have any great targets either. Just like one of these highs. I'll just see if it goes back up though. Maybe Geo pushed a little bit higher. IWM pushing down. A little unfortunate. See if that recovers at all. AMD with an interesting move here. That's very interesting on a play like that. Playing that short. I'm not really in love with shorts today, but see where Robux goes back in price last night. Yeah. That's how they make their money, man. TSM and retrace for TLM. Ooh, I don't know about that. No, that's very trendy. I would never touch that. Never, never. Not a great break either. But that move is interesting. I wonder if something like that works out. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. So I'm curious if a move like this does work. Playing like this, because that would be a good little back test. See if a play like that works out. I think IWM's probably done. Pretty close. Pretty close. It's annoying with everything else trending upwards. At least it seems trending upwards. I think I'd rather wait on something like AVGO than take something like Apple. Although I do like the actual demand on Apple a lot more. But it doesn't look like Apple might just continue down. Looks like IWM's gonna do the same. It's interesting because SPY and Qs are basically remaining strong at this point. Everything else getting a little bit of a push down. NVIDIA hits supply here. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at on IWM, but I don't know if we'll get it. Forget with an yeah, microtransactions, man. They run the gaming world. And Roblox is the king of microtransactions. See if IWM gets a good push here. Just don't think NVIDIA is going to have anything with supply in the way there. They honestly care about too much. PLTR is just such a weird spot. Don't know what I'd be looking for there. Microsoft, I don't think anything. That's kind of all over the place on TLM. Looks like we're rejecting supply a little bit. from there. You go pretty far into it though. We'd really only care about a break of like that low, I think. TSM, I don't think anything. Again, maybe demand here. Look to go higher. Didn't get a retrace on it though. But definitely a little bit of demand. Not my favorite, but a little bit. Something like that could be an interesting move. If you are looking at TSM. Where he targets a good question. It's maybe there. It's not a pullback though, but wow, that's a large drop on a 2-minute candle for SPY and Qs. Apple follows suit. AVGO is remaining strong. IWM gets a good push off demand, which is nice to see. See if that holds though. Doesn't look like it's going to at all. Okay. Wow. Candle killed all the profits. Interesting. AMD looks like the one that I missed with that move, man. AVGO is still here. Still interesting. Not quite sure what our target would be. Just this high. Something like that. Still want to see some movement to the upside, which we're not really getting on a lot of these. Yeah, IWM's trying, man, but you just can't get that momentum upwards, which just sucks, unfortunately. AMD shorts looks like they would have been good. Still am a fan. This thing's dropping, yeah. Still am a fan of AVGO if we could get the right risk on something like this, but I think a few of these just not looking great for longs, which is unfortunate. Really need to see buyer step in at some point on these. IWM hits that stop. Apple does. Yeah, those are massive drops. I don't know what that was. I don't think there was anything at 945. No. Massive drops though. It's not really what you'd want to see there. Especially if we're looking to get in something like AVGO. You don't want to see a drop like that. TSM gives a retrace, but again, for dropping this hard, definitely don't want to enter anything right now. Spine keys are not something I would get into. Apple's going to be done. IWM's done. AMD, I think, was a short opportunity that was missed. I don't think there's going to be anything on Microsoft. Hood's a lot of the same. Oracle kind of fell off that cliff. Those could still be interesting, I think. TSM, we would need some serious momentum up. It's a good recovery on it, though. It's a plus. Spreads are just really bad, though. Shockingly bad. Don't like that at all. Exit MU puts for TLM play. Played down. Nice. Solid play, man. Really well done. Very, very well done, man. It looks like puts might end up paying today. The AMD one. Oh no, wow, AMD's kind of reversing on itself. That's interesting. Did not really expect that. MU was good. Congrats on that one. Buyers are kind of disappearing. SPY, like an Apple, man. And talk about the rejection of supply. Same thing on IWM. Wow. What, 8 push down? Yoke price, in my opinion, we got from CT. Yeah. Yeah, it's typically why the price is like this, but that was just a weird push after a strong first 10, 15 minutes. Weird push down. First time listening, tossing some layman's terms. I'll try, man. I will try. Yeah, it's hard for me to warrant going into anything, especially longs, when price is moving like this. And that's kind of the worry with AVGO as well, is like AVGO I'd probably, like, this play would probably take until like FOMC. And I obviously don't want to be in anything during FOMC, so it'd just be tough. And TSM with honestly, with the spreads and the amount of contracts I'd have to buy with this, I just don't even know if it's worth it. The spreads could really screw me on this. Definitely not horrible, but not great. In AVGO, like, if this is something I were to get into, I'd have to hope and pray that price just went like this. I don't really want to take that chance at all. So I found an interesting move. Bounce off supply here. Broke a low, bounce off it again, broke another low. It's interesting for shorts. What's the other thing we were looking at? AMD. What did that end up doing? Wow, it did retrace basically all the way. Okay, that doesn't really make sense, but we'll rock with it. Oh my god, look at that drop from PLTR on the 2 minute. Jeez. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's very strange, very weird. So yeah, I don't blame you, man. Yeah, 10-cent spreads aren't usually that bad. Like, I trade 10-cent spreads all the time. The problem is that because it's such a small move, it's only 50 cents. I'd have to buy like 15 contracts or something crazy, like 10 to 15 contracts. So if you have like 10 of those with $10 spreads, it'd be annoying, especially if trying to sell like market price. But we'll see. Any plays yet? I played IWM, unfortunately. Thought this looked good with the break, but could not get any momentum. Aside that though, no, not loving anything else. Not a big fan. I think it's probably better to be one of those days where you accept your loss and you run away, you know, realistically. I will be keeping an eye on these things though, because I'm curious where, like AVGO, TSM, where these go. I think they still could be good plays, but I don't think I'll be playing them. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe TSM gets this big push here. We'll see. Is that on the 1 minute? Yeah. This. Oh no, okay, that was the end of the candle. I thought that was like the first 5 seconds of the first or that next candle. I see that is incredible. See if TSM gets that push it wants. It's gonna be one you wait for sort of that second break of structure as well, if you wanted to. So instead of something like this, be rough where, and depending on where you put your target, I don't know where you'd put it, but could look at something like that as well. Just don't know. It's hard to target past that area. Just because it is a gap, obviously. I don't know. The market's just not strong in the slightest right now, though. It's like all across the board, everything's down. AMD somehow like the only thing that actually retraced to an extent. Just kind of funny. The 30-minute, I think it's 45. Yeah, 45. It's kind of a weird one. It's not my favorite. I'll tell you that much. Definitely not my favorite. But we'll see. I don't think this is even going to break that second high, to be honest. With how this market's moving, I doubt it. But it is still an interesting play. So we'll see. We'll see if we break that. I don't know what that would put risk-wise, what that would put us at. Be a little better. I mean, it's a good push. Very good push. I feel like you'd really want to close above this if you could. That'd obviously be a preference. Still could be a good trade. Again, will likely be a weird day, but interesting to see where it goes. Do you have ANF? Just curious as to what it's doing. Do I have ANF? If I knew what ANF stood for, I'd tell you. Is that just a stock? Abercrombie and Finch. Oh, they had earnings. if you're looking at it, it's probably going to drop some more after earnings. CVGO doing. Man, kind of hard rejecting that 50. Should be good if you're looking to get into it. See what TSM does here. We will see. ANF and TR in chip sector. So not Abercrombie and Finch. I would assume then. Which I would love to see it. I don't see it. I don't know. If you want to send me a chart on it, I could look at it, but well, like I said, I think today's gonna be a little bit of a weird day. But yeah. So we'll see. I gotta run though, so we go ahead and end. But yeah, weird day, weird movement. We'll see what TSM does. I think it could be a still solid trade. So we'll keep an eye on it, see where we go from here. And then I will see Freedom Team members on Friday for SC. I'll see you next week. So enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll be seeing you.